You've had a couple of clients who've really embodied this.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I have a client right now who just had an ankle replacement. She is incredible. And even before that, this whole past year has been like one of the worst years of her life. So she started coaching with me a little over a year ago, and they were planning on this international move, going to move overseas. And she was having trouble with her kids at school and the bureaucracy. There was a huge backup with the pandemic, with all the moving logistics with her company, and the medical needs and all kinds of stuff just kept getting in the way, and they ended up not being able to travel together. And so just one disappointing thing after another, just huge amount of stress, unbelievable amount of stress. So every week was, okay, what can we do this week? What can we do this week? And then she's dealing with this bad ankle for the past year. And so we were like, okay, you can ride a bike. And so, and then a lot of different health problems, but she's always had that mentality of, all right, I can do 5 minutes of meditation a day. I can eat this cup of vegetables. Like every week we're just clawing at that tiny little 1% improvement. And then she just discovered a month ago, like after she had to move, that the ankle repair that had been done 2 years ago was poorly done. And so they had to be totally replaced, a total ankle replacement, like huge disappointment, like it's messed up her plans to move overseas. So here she is this week, sitting in bed, just had surgery, and I sent her exercises to do in bed so that her dial is on a 1, and she's doing arm lifts and leg lifts in bed. That's her workout. And then she is eating protein and vegetables that she prepped before she had the surgery. So that's what she's doing. And she's about to run out of all the food that she prepped. So I had met with her last night. I said, okay, you're running out of the food you prepped. What now? How are you going to get your protein and vegetables now? Like, you're bedridden, how's this going to work? So we came up with a plan to figure that out. Like, okay, on the days you have a lot of energy, this will be your minimum. And on the days you have no energy, this will be your minimum. And it seems ridiculous, the plan that we came up with, because it's just so tiny, the things she's doing. Like, sitting here doing this in bed. Is this
Raising
going to,
your arm up and down.
what's this going to do? And it just seems ridiculous, but it is a game changer mentally, right? So she is going to she's made progress in the face of really huge, a mountain of stress and opposition. But she is way ahead than she would have been if she had pushed the pause button and said, this isn't a good time in my life to do this. Because in reality, your life doesn't stop. And the times when, a few weeks out of the year, it might click. Like, oh yeah, everything's lining up. The workouts are great. I'm making progress. I'm hitting PRs. Everything's great. I'm planning these beautiful, well-balanced meals, and I'm cooking in the evenings, and the kids are getting along. And, there might be, a few days out of the year where but most of the time, you're just getting by. You're just doing the little 5-minute things. That's the reality.
And we were talking about this earlier. You want to have the same mindset in fitness that you have in other areas of your life. You use the example of parenting. If things aren't going well, like, okay, let's say you have a crazy project at work. Right? You're not just going to be like, go to your significant other and be like, hey, you got this. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off. When things are better, I'm going to pick it back up.
I'm going to hit pause on parenting right now.
I'm just going to pause the whole parenting thing right now because, just a lot is going. I have a lot going on, right? You're not going to do that, or
that's not going to go over well.
It's not going to go over well. I don't recommend that. Or a band is at a concert, right? They're playing a concert, and someone misses a note. Happens all the time, right? Like someone messes up. Half the time we don't even notice because they're professionals and they've mastered the art of keeping it going. And, but anyway, if your favorite artists were up there pouring, let's say you're at a Metallica concert, right, and someone misses a note, and that would be like them just stopping and being like, oh, you know what? Let's pick this back up next week, guys, and just leaving the arena. And,
or even if they say, we need to restart that song because I missed a note.
Right. It's like, no, you're not going to do that. That's not how life works. And at work, if you mess something up with your job, if you're in IT and you the project you're managing is when you put it out, it doesn't go well or whatever. You're not just going to quit, right? You're not just going to be like, oh, well, IT isn't for me. Like, no, you keep going. And that's just what life is. And it's really unfortunate, and it's heartbreaking as a trainer to see it happen so frequently, where people are just so willing to give up on their health because something else in life is happening. Because life is happening, you could say. Something goes wrong. Something happens. They get busy. Instead of trying to find a solution and being solution-oriented, so many people just have a tendency to give up. And it's really unfortunate because those types of decisions are really going to come back to bite people in the ass later on in life. When you can get away with doing that now when you're in your 30s, 40s, maybe even your 50s. But as you get into your late 50s, your 60s, 70s, you're going to be like, damn, why didn't I just... why was I so inflexible with my fitness?
Right. And by the time you're in your 60s, all that pause button that you've been pushing since you were 25 years old, that has caught up. Mm-hmm. That all catches up, and you go into the doctor one day and they're like, oh, you got diabetes. Yeah. That's from years of pause button mentality. Oh, you have osteoporosis. Oh, that's from years of, I'm afraid of barbells. I don't want to, I don't have time. The kids need this. I don't have time to do I don't have time to do anything, right? So when you do nothing, your body is going to suffer over time. It's going to feel it.
Your body's spiteful. It'll remind you. Yeah. Every single day in your 70s when your hip hurts, it'll remind you like, hey, remember when I tried to get you to? Remember I tried to warn you? In your 40s, I tried to warn you. Be active, stick with it.
Right.
But you didn't listen.
Time is on your side now.
Yeah.
Right. So it's never too late. I've seen 80-year-old women start barbell training. I've seen it. Yeah. But
it's never too late.
Wait. Yeah, but don't wait.
Yeah, it's never too late, but there's definitely a point in time you'll reach where what should we call it? Like your ability to avoid or put off anything serious.
Right. No one has ever said, oh, I'm so sad that I took care of myself when I was younger. I'm so sad that no one has ever said that.
Yeah.
Right. It's always going to pay off. The earlier you start, the better. But wherever you're at, however you're old right now, just get started and doing something small. Right. Yeah. Decide what your dial method is. So this is what I suggest people do. Make a list on a piece of paper, 1 to 10, or draw a fake dial if you're visual like me. Decide what's my minimum. What can I do on my worst day? Just think of the worst possible day. Like for me, all day in the ER, that's just a crap day for me. Like if I have to spend all day in the ER, all right, what am I going to do on that day? What are meals going to look like? If I have to eat at the hospital, what's that going to look like? Like, okay, figure that out. And then what's your 10? Like what's your ideal fitness day? Organic foods and I don't know, whatever it is, and a wonderful 90-minute workout in the gym, whatever the ideal fitness day for you. And then fill in all the in-between gradual things like eating slowly, eating a lean protein. Just figure out what your eating dial is and your fitness dial. And just keep in mind that work and family time and hobbies, those have dials too. And figure out what those dials look like too. But for starters, start with your fitness and your eating dials, like your nutrition dials, and figure out what those in, and figure out, okay, is this a level 2 day? Is this a channel 10 day? Like what is today? And figure out, sometimes you can look at your week and go, oh, well, that can be a 10 that day, and Tuesday is going to be a 2 because that's all day in the car driving people everywhere. So obviously not going to be a 10 that day, but do something.
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you have to be flexible.
Yeah.
You gotta be flexible.
You gotta believe that the little things matter. That's because it's keeping a promise to yourself.
Yeah, and the little things, that's what getting in shape actually looks like. It doesn't look like the crazy David Goggins running 10 miles a day, or the crazy Instagram influencer who's only eats, chicken and acai bowls, whatever you're looking at. If you look at that and you're like, I couldn't really do that for an extended period of time, don't.
Yeah.
Because that's not what your fitness looks like.
Yeah, what will fit in my life? Instead of fitting yourself into someone else's program, think, what's going to fit in my life? What can I do mentally, physically, emotionally? What can I handle today?
Yeah.
It's always something.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that hasn't done something during the day for their health. Even if it's putting a seatbelt on when you get in the car, you've done something for your health, and give yourself credit for that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, hopefully this was enlightening and helpful, guys. Use that dial method. Seriously, this is more important now than it's ever been because we're all operating with nothing in reserve. Our mental bandwidth is at an all-time low. We're stressed out. We haven't coped with the pandemic we just lived through. You need to stay active, take care of your body from a nutritional standpoint, and the dial method is exactly how you do it in this post-pandemic world.
yeah.
So, all right, guys, we will talk to you next time.
All right. Bye.